All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Haley's fired up. She's ready to go.
So fired up.
We just had dinner. What did you eat?
Frozen vegan patties from Trader Joe's and sweet potato fries with fried eggs.
What's your diet going to look like after you give birth?
Cucumber slices, tomato slices, nothing cooked.
Are you looking forward to that?
No.
All right.
It's going to be pretty sad.
So you've been training still.
Yeah.
And you've been getting programming.
Yeah.
From Holden and Hunter. Tell me how that's been going, because I saw you doing programming today.
I did all my upper body stuff for one day this week. I told them to just give me 1 to 2 days because I'm starting to slow down. Then I can just fill it up with like classes and stuff the rest of the time. I mean, it's hard because it's like, I feel like it's not really getting me anywhere right now. So it's like, I'm doing it because I know that it can help me, but it's hard to do it because I'm weaker.
I would argue that it's not meant to like move the needle forward, but it's meant to maintain where you're currently at versus decline, right?
But it's hard to train like that.
Yeah, no, I can totally imagine that. What are you excited to do when you get back? Is there any like type of training?
As far as training goes?
Yeah.
All my aerobic work where I just hang out by myself in the garage and just bury myself in my training. Like the stuff that people don't see. I feel like when I crush that stuff, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, pretty much. It's interesting. I recently saw a video of Mal O'Brien talking to Tony Marquez, and he was asking about how her training changed when she started up with Matt. And it sounded like she was saying, I had never just done like rowing intervals before or something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of been a staple of you for a while, right?
Yeah, I think Matt really does a lot of what Tim was doing for years. That didn't surprise me. I feel like when she answered that question though, I'm like, that's like, I don't know if she's been trained in PR. I'm like, that's a good PR answer because that's terrifying. To her competitors. Anyone that loves rowing repeats and says that that's what they look forward to, I'm like, that's like a sick person. So like either she's completely sick or she was trained up so well in PR to scare her competitors. Or she's
so
probably seen a compliment either way. But.
Well, it's maybe like you, where it's like you've seen the results of that, you've seen the benefits of it, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing more.
Yeah, but
they don't feel good.
The rowing repeats, I mean, that's just like, there's so many other intervals that you can do, but those specifically are the worst. It is so hot in here. Oh my God, is the heater on?
I don't know.
Bro, I'm sweating.
All right, let me check.
You're just gonna leave? I'm literally like sweating. Like you can see sweat.
You know, it's interesting. Josh Alchama, we were having a conversation the other day about training and about his training right now specifically. And I think that there's a number of people that maybe have the assumption that the best CrossFitters, the majority of them, they're just doing CrossFit all the time. Like they're just doing Metcons all the time. And that's actually not true. I think there's a certain learning curve to where you have to learn how to navigate your way through these races and these tests and all that. And that is a skill for sure. However, when you get to a certain point, Josh is a great example, and you're a great example actually, to where it's like, when you get to a certain point, you guys know how to tackle the WODs. So your training almost just becomes, you're just doing stuff that's gonna make you a more effective, like a better athlete, but you're not practicing transitions, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like doing things like that, or being like, okay, how am I gonna split this up or that up? It's more like just building out volume, doing your strength cycles, hitting your aerobic work, all that stuff that literally just makes you a better athlete in general. And then on game day, obviously, you know, as you get closer to game day, you do touches on the actual sport, but when you get out there, you're kind of expected to just be an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was talking to someone today about that. It's like everybody wants to they want to be good, but they don't really know what it takes. And once they see what it takes, like all the boring stuff, the not fun CrossFit WODs every day, they quit because it's hard and not fun.
Lord knows I've coached a number of people, and
they quit when things get hard.
They quit within a month or something, because they're like, like, sorry, you don't want to do your tempo work, or you don't want to
they don't want
do aerobic repeats, or take a step back. And let's say they can only hit a certain amount of like handstand push-ups. It's like, okay, let's deconstruct why you can only do that. And we're gonna have to do this super boring bodybuilding pieces, or just building up stability in the shoulders or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to develop some healthy shoulders before we even build that volume. They don't want to take that step.
Yeah. And that's why the same people have been at the top for years and years and years, because it's hard. And there's only a handful of people that are willing to put in that kind of work.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people too that have gotten into CrossFit later and maybe didn't do as many athletics, or think that they did sufficient athletics prior to it, they just want to do the sexy stuff. Whereas like, oh, maybe we need to teach you how to use your midline because you just don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Versus others that inherently can just figure it out. Again, using Josh as an example, because he was a dancer, kind of has control of his body in ways like that. I'm not sure he had to learn that during CrossFit. You know, it's more just like, yeah, I have control over that, and now I'm just going to build out volume, increase strength, do aerobic repeats, and then suddenly he's doing really well. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By the way, we've been posting links to this vlog on like Facebook, Instagram, a bunch of different places. And so if, just a heads up, if you guys are watching this coming from Facebook, we are never on Facebook. So I apologize if I haven't responded to comments yet on that or anything like that. Really appreciate it. And thank you for coming and checking out the vlog. It's actually really cool. We've been getting some pretty sweet messages on Instagram about how people really enjoy it.
That's nice. I haven't seen any.
Hayley had a doctor's appointment today. How was the doctor's appointment?
I drove myself.
That's all you wanted to say?
I laid on a bed and I watched the heartbeat go up and down for 20 minutes.
Can you explain why?
My water retention's like a 14.
Now,
they
previously
said I
it was
wasn't
at 11, right?
Well, it's been an 11 and then a 16 and now a 14.
And that's where you want to be, or you want to be a little lower?
It's good. It's all within the numbers.
Okay, cool.
If it goes below a 7, that means I have to give birth.
Okay, gotcha. Would that mean that your water has broken?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It means the baby's not getting what they need.
So you did that. Now, doing the stress test is simply because of age?
For me.
Yeah.
At this point, yes.
At what point do you cross that threshold to where they're like, okay, we got to pay attention because of age now?
35.
35. It's interesting. I feel like there's been a number of things where we've asked the doctor, like she's given us some advice, and we listen to the doctor for sure. We'll be like, hey, what do you think about XYZ? And she'll be like, well, this is what most people do, this and that, whatever, when they're at this age or at this stage in the pregnancy, this and that. And we're like, okay, cool, we can do that if you want. Follow-up question, the people who normally do that, are they professional athletes like Hayley is? And most of the time we've gotten a response like, no. You know, like kind of like, you're in such good shape already that it like a lot of the things as far as like eating healthier or having to take it easier, monitor this and that, I don't know if you've had to do just because you're such a fit person.
Yeah, well, I've definitely been taking it easier because I can barely move.
Hey, I'm trying to pay you a compliment.
Thanks, but yeah, I've been going easier, not by choice though.
Right.
Back to the hospital trip, I drove myself home and it was pouring rain.
It doesn't rain much in LA.
And then I got to the hospital and I was like, oh my God, this girl's backing out of a parking spot. It's right there. Like, I'm going to get a good parking spot. Lights were on. She backs out completely of the parking spot.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. I just threw up in my mouth. And then she pulls right back. She goes, oh, and pulls right back in.
Like she was straightening out or what?
Her car was already straight. So I'm like, are you? And I was like, are you serious? Like I gave her one of those. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, that doesn't sound like something you would do.
Yeah, and I was like, is she fucking, like, I was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Ugh. So then I had to go down to the Cheetah parking structure and walk up flights of stairs.
Did you see her when you got in?
No. Ugh. What the heck was that?
Well, I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, me too.
And then it rained really hard.
Yeah, and I couldn't see while I was driving on the freeway. LA is just, when it rains, it's like something bad's gonna happen out here.
And also, people don't know how to drive in the rain either.
Well, the streets aren't prepared for rain either, so it's not just on the drivers.
No,
it's
yeah,
like
it does start
the lights,
like flooding out.
Like, there's not like the lights are different. I bet like in other parts of the U.S., like lights are different. Or like when we were in North Carolina or Virginia, like it's like everybody puts on their hazard lights when it gets like really bad. Like people out here don't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't know that. And then they did it, so I did it. But it's like knowing that when things are slowing down or you can't see anything. Yeah, people here we don't even know how to use like windshield wipers.
Yeah, and I realized like this is like one of the first doctor's appointments I didn't go to in forever. As soon as like I was doing programming, I look out the window, I just see it pissing rain, and I was like, of course. And as soon as you walk in the door, what did you say to me?
I almost died. It is raining so hard.
Yep.
And you're just sitting on your ass, looking at your phone on your computer thing.
I was doing work. To be
Whatever,
fair.
it doesn't matter.
We
got chairs.
Oh yeah, we got new chairs. You're gonna have to stop burping on that mic. I'm gonna have to replace the pop filter on that thing, dude.
It's like vomit in my mouth right now.
Whenever we get going on the podcast, there's like this never-ending cacophony of belching, yawning, and closing your eyes, like drifting off out of frame. Like
I haven't washed my hair in 4 days since Saturday. It's not that many.
What's common? Like how many days do you normally go?
4.
Okay, that's not that bad.
3 to 4.
How long do you think?
I used to wash my hair like every day. You? Every day.
You think I wash my hair every day?
You should, because that workout you did today was sweaty and ugh.
Well, I mean, I definitely like put the hot water on it multiple times a day.
Yeah, but the oils are still on your scalp.
Right, isn't that good?
Tofu's sitting in the new chair.
I know. Yeah, a couple times a week. Wash the hair. All right, guys.
I'm gonna need to put a pot filter over that.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We will see you again